The image that comes to mind for me is so vivid, but I don't know if it's from a movie. If you know it, please let me know. But I picture this horse. This horse has gotten somebody through the desert, whipped, working, step after step after step. And finally, it just stops. This horse who has lovingly kept going, it had no choice. And still it kept going out of love, has finally stopped, refusing, and will not move, and is getting whipped and whipped and whipped. And like blood is coming down. And the horse has got tears coming from its eyes, but its face will not move, and its feet won't take another step. That's where I'm at in my life, and I don't know where to go from here. Honestly, for a long time I was just like really angry at my parents for raising me into this world when they were poor themselves. And it turns out that it wasn't just their poverty that they gifted me. It was a number of mental, physical, genetic, spiritual, social, all kinds of issues. And I have tried my whole life. I have been, technically a person could argue that I've been working since I was 4 years old. Because I was changing diapers, cooking, cleaning. My mother treated me like a servant, where it was like yelling, like, go get me some water, go make me some tea, where's the remote? Like, you know, to the point where to this day, like, the sound of a woman's raised voice is still very activating for me. Like, even in singing, you know, these like women who like belt out music like Adele, who went with the same name as me. And like I hear the yelling from a woman and I start to break down because of my childhood of being a little slave. And it's demented, you know, because I found out that my father is still alive, quote unquote father, I use that term loosely. This person is still alive, and, you know, finding out about the history of our family, it was literally his parents, not even his grandparents, his literal parents in Guyana that were slaves. My father's parents were literal slaves. This is in my DNA. My mother's family are from the West Indies, Trinidad. And I remember, you know, reading, I tried to find it. I tried to get ChatGPT to help me find it, but I couldn't. I'm like, what? I remember reading this text a long time back about this conqueror in the area, this guy from Britain, and he was writing a letter back to his business partners about the people he found in the West Indies. And he was like, you wouldn't believe it. He's like, they will accept the absolute bare minimum that we give them. They don't dare ask for more. They always have a grateful and polite attitude, no matter how badly we treat them or how much they're suffering. And get this, they still keep reproducing. They can barely afford to live, and they still keep making slaves for us. So don't worry about anything. We're going to be doing fine and awesome and blah, blah, blah. Like, this is so great. This is so wonderful, right? And there was like even another part where he's like, he was like describing their mentality. He's like, the mentality of them is that they do not pursue any higher education. They have no hobbies, passions, or interests. They just work and breed. And he's like, they don't have mastery in anything, blah, 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 you know. And I'm like reading it and I'm like, frick, this is just like my parents and the life that they bore me into, where I have to be in survival mode for 42 years. And I tried to get different ways out of it, you know. I thought I could get out of, escape this through relationships with men, making myself very attractive and very useful in different ways. That's what I thought I was doing. I was so wrong. And it was only in the context of those relationships that I started to really appreciate myself. So I think the ideal way to learn about healthy relationships is through books, history, studying, and education, and to gain all that knowledge before going out and putting yourself. Aren't those birds lovely? I'm tempted to just quit this video, lie here and listen to these birds. Relationships were not the solution. Finding out how not to do relationships by... Did I just lock myself out? Okay, we're all good. I almost did get locked out. So now that I saw that potential happening, it won't happen again, right? I don't have room for mistakes in my life. I'm sure I could stand here and shout and go, my landlady here, they would help me. They've been very, very accommodating, but yeah, I haven't had room for mistakes in my life. When you have no family support and you're poor, I've been poor for 42 years. And I've gone through stages when I wasn't poor. This was usually when I was in a relationship with a man or when I was making money on the internet, which was stressing me out because I didn't know how to hold that much abundance and attention. And I don't think people realize this, but passive income and a lot of money is very stimulating. If you're someone who is overstimulated by noises, sounds, sensory input, a lot of money is sensory input, especially when you haven't had it before and when you don't feel worthy of things, and when you don't know about self-sabotage, and when you've got poverty, hard work wired into your DNA. So I tried doing this through, I tried escaping this through relationships with men, through making money online, through, I got educated in forestry because I was like, if I'm going to have to work in life, how can I not work in an office? How can I listen to birds singing and the sound of leaves playing in the trees all day? And so I worked in forestry for a little while. Good God. It was a great experience, but like all the experiences I've had in life, I've had to overlook the racism, the sexism, the nonsense. And because I was in it, I was blind to it, like I had to be in order to survive it. And then after I get out, I look back and I'm like, oh my God. None of that was normal or acceptable. And then I just think, like, where is my place in this world and in this life? And like having to work so that you don't become homeless or die is still slavery. And it's kind of hard to keep going when, I don't know. So like now what I've been doing is I get like, like little contracts online. I'll work for people for 6 months, companies help them with stuff, whatever. But like that horse inside of me, she's like this beautiful, loving, old, weathered out, worn out, beautiful horse full of life and stories and art and baking and color and sunrises and sunsets and birds singing. She's got long eyelashes, but she is old and she is tired and she's crying and bleeding and she's not willing to take another step. And you might think that this is the point at which, I need to pull out my creative side or whatever. But I just don't want to sell myself anymore. I don't want to feel like I'm under the gun anymore. And when I don't have to work, by the way, because like that has been the relationships that I have been in, to my credit, I just get depressed. It's like I kind of need some kind of pressure to keep me going. So I minimized my life as much as I could, even before I came to Mexico. But even now, I'm starting to feel that what's being asked of me is too much, especially because I didn't ask to be here. And I think I ask myself, what am I willing to give? Because I look to nature that I love so much. I look to the spiders that I admire. I know it sounds insane. I admire spiders. Their work, their endless creation, their artistry. I have a video on my other channel where I just go off talking about the craziest spiders I met here in Mexico. I'm gonna link it here. The stories are insane. There's 2 videos, there's 2 parts. What am I still willing to do? And you know what's crazy is like the most fun, the best job and working in, well, not working environment, but the best work that I enjoyed was when I was, a farm wife in Montana, and I was cooking these dinners and preparing all these options and making special things of food every day. You can see it on my Instagram, setting them out for family, even like, picking up things, preparing them. Like I really love these caretaking type of activities somehow. And I'm trying to even think if working for the government in forestry was really fulfilling for me. It was not. I mean, I enjoyed it at the time. When I had a crew, it was great. But when I was working as a patrolman and they're like, here's a truck and a credit card and a cabin, you'll get your paycheck every 2 weeks. Have a nice summer. I was like, great. I guess what I'm saying is I'm not very self-directed, and I'm motivated by meaningful connection with other people. That's what I mean. So I was thinking about it, and I really think that my ideal career, and like if you look on my Facebook, you'll see some of the stories I've been describing, the things I've learned about myself in Mexico, is that like I really like kids. I don't know where this comes from. Like the thing is that like I have a very childlike enthusiasm and humor. And I feel like only kids get me, and they make me so happy. Because like I legitimately get that excited over a beetle. You know what I mean? Or the birds singing. So, I don't know. I'm thinking that some kind of like family companion, or like a companion for lonely people who are not terrible humans. I mean, I think that would be ideal for, and like without having to be in a relationship, because I'm just sick of that. I need to get therapy in order to be ready for that again. But anyway, the film is going to look really grainy because the sun is going down, and I really want to go for a walk. So I think making these easy ass videos like this and selling the books that I currently have and putting it out there that, yeah, I want to be like a companion to a family of like a well-behaved child, or like a single lonely person who has a great library and a lot of money, or like something like that. I don't know, that would be kind of ideal for me. I can't do anything else, and I don't know if I'm just gonna like die. You know that job that I had in finance that I told you guys about? That lasted for like 6 months. And it was like fun for a little while, but like there was so much weirdness around it, you know, like, was I very, very good at that job? I mean, kind of yes and kind of no. And what's also crazy, can we get more light this way? Oh, this looks kind of edgy, doesn't it? No. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and what's kind of crazy about it is like a couple things showed themselves. Number one, my boss was somebody who I had matched with on Tinder earlier that year, but I just didn't say anything. And the second thing I noticed was that, so I had to meet with like every day with like the CEO and like the CFO. We would have like a Zoom meeting, and this was a woman, and she was like really brilliant, really sharp kind of woman, whatever. And I noticed she would always like just be wearing like a black hoodie, plain looking, you know, nothing, on these Zoom calls. And after they had been working with me for a while, what do? I show up with makeup, bright blushing cheeks, cute outfit, little earrings every day. She started like changing. She started showing up looking cute and smiling and feeling better. So the things that I bring to a situation are intangible in that way, okay? I'm not an amazing, oh my God, what was that position? Like, it's so scrambled from my brain. I am just so scrambled. Yeah, I'm not a working in finance person. I'm not a traditional work person. I am still a slave because my parents bore me into that. But I need to find something else. Are you going through the same thing? Like, I feel like this has been my entire life. And you know what's crazy too is like, I don't understand why. Let me see if I can get more light. If I go over here, oh my God. Let's go and see. Okay, here we got a bit more light. I don't understand, and this is what has like boggled my mind. Like, I just saw a video the other day of Madonna walking out all rickety looking on the stage in the high heels and stuff, and I'm like, girl, you are a quadrillionaire. Why are you still working? Even like Jordan Peterson, when he started getting really popular, I'm like, okay, his family has millions and millions of dollars now, great. Like, why is he still working so hard? Like, I get it, you're like passionate, whatever, but like, I don't know. The girl just wants to be beautiful, make the world more beautiful. Look at the clouds passing by, listen to the trees. That's it, y'all. Can any of you help me? Any of you guys know anybody who like wants to hire me? Please. Look at this sky.